Okay, I want to start this video by reading from the Bible, 2 Kings 5, verse 1 to 14. I don't know if you know the story of Naaman, but I'm just going to read those verses and then talk a little bit about it afterwards. Now Naaman was the commander of the army of the king of Aram. He was a great man in the sight of his master and highly regarded, because through him the Lord had given victory to Aram. He was a valiant soldier, but he had leprosy. Now bands from Aram had gone out and taken captive a young girl from Israel, and she served Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, "If only my master would see the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure him of his leprosy." Naaman went to his master and told him what the girl from Israel had said. "By all means go," the king of Aram replied. "I will send a letter to the king of Israel." So Naaman left, taking with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 sets of clothing. The letter that he took to the king of Israel read, "With this letter I'm sending my servant Naaman to you, so that you may cure him of his leprosy." As soon as the king of Israel read the letter, he tore his robes and said, "O my God, can I kill and bring back to life? Why does this fellow send someone to me to be cured of his leprosy? See how he's trying to pick a quarrel with me." When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his robes, he sent him this message, "Why have you torn your robes? Have the man come to me, and he will know that there's a prophet in Israel." So Naaman went with his horses and chariots and stopped at the door of Elisha's house. Elisha sent a messenger to him to say to him, "Go, wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will be restored, and you'll be cleansed." But Naaman went away angry, and he said, "I thought that he would surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, wave his hand over the spot and cure me of my leprosy. Are not Abana and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than any of the waters of Israel? Couldn't I wash in them and be cleansed?" So he turned and went away in a rage. Naaman's servants went to him and said, "My father, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more then, when he tells you, 'Wash and be cleansed'?" So he went down and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times, as the man of God had told him, and his flesh was restored and became clean like that of a young boy. Now what a miracle that was. This man was covered with leprosy, and his flesh was made as good as new. And that the God who did that for Naaman does do miracles for people today. I mean, some people think that he did them in the Bible, but where are they today? But he does do miracles. There are loads of testimonies of God's healings. However, there are conditions if we want to receive all that God has for us, including the miracles. Now, through Elisha, God told Naaman to wash 7 times in the Jordan. But what was Naaman's reaction? Instead of thanking God and obeying and rushing off to do it because he wanted this miracle, he was angry. In fact, more than angry, it says he went off in a rage. Well, why did he do that? The reason was because in telling him to do that, the Lord had hit a stronghold in Naaman's life, and that was his pride. And God was willing to heal him, but first of all, he wanted to deal with that. And like probably lots of people today, there are things in their life that God wants to deal with first before that healing can come. Because otherwise they've only got half a job. If the physical healing had come, Naaman would have gone off, but he wouldn't have been changed. But as it was, he was changed inside as well as outside. But Naaman wasn't going to get that miracle on his own terms. It had to be on God's terms. So the way God asked him to go and wash in that river meant he had to humble himself. And perhaps there's people today who are thinking, well, why won't God do this for me? But they've got their own ideas about how things should be and that God should do this or that, instead of humbling themselves and listening to what he's saying to them. Because he's given us his word, and in the Bible it does say how to follow the Lord. He gives us instructions on how to live, how to abide in him. And if people go off in their own way and say, well, actually I think it's better like this, I want to do things this way, and they wonder why they don't get their miracles. So maybe you don't even realise that you've done this. Or maybe you're not in a born-again fellowship where you're getting the ministry and you're getting what you need to abide in the Lord. Maybe you've gone a bit off track. But whatever the reason is, if you need a miracle, if you're in need, the Lord does want to help you. But like Naaman, he might need for you to get in that place first. He might want to deal with something in you before that miracle will flow. But if you will humble yourself to the Lord and listen and do things his way, he will give you your miracle. But you just have to look to him and trust him and put away your own ideas and believe that he knows best.